If 9 visits between the two of us, Barack and me, doesn't demonstrate how clearly Barack Obama and I plan on competing for every single vote here in Central, Southwest, Southeast Virginia, throughout all Virginia, I don't know what can say it, folks. We need you. We need you. You know, in the last debate, John McCain felt the need to declare he was not President Bush. And just yesterday, John McCain actually went so far as to compare Barack Obama to George Bush. Now, as my 10-year-old granddaughter Finnegan says, hello, hello, Johnny. John McCain's now attacking George Bush for his budget and fiscal policies. Well, I tell you what, finally, but like John, where were you the past 8 years when all this was going on? I'll tell you where you were. You were voting with George Bush 90% of the time. And until recently, John was bragging about it. John said all through this campaign, under George Bush, quote, "We've made great economic progress." John said on September 15th, "The fundamentals of the economy are strong." Talk about out of touch. Ladies and gentlemen, look, I know Halloween's coming. I know it's coming. But this takes a change, the notion of change, to the extreme, man. I mean, look, this change costume is one that the American people aren't going to buy on John McCain's body, ladies and gentlemen. I never saw a guy run so far, so fast from a sitting president in my whole life. And George Bush, I'm told, came out today, he voted early, and said he voted for John McCain. I guess that's called returning the favor. I don't know. I don't know. Look, state the obvious. We know we're not running against George Bush, President Bush, but we are running against the very Bush economic policies that John McCain says he wants to continue. Ladies and gentlemen, I love it when John McCain and his running mate, I love it when, hey, you're going to blow their eardrums out in here. I love it when John McCain and his running mate, Governor Palin, stand on the stage together and, hey, Maverick, they're both Mavericks, right? This is the Maverick gang. Well, let me tell you something. A senator friend of mine from my hometown of Scranton, Pennsylvania, where I was born, a guy named Bob Casey, a Democratic senator, you know what he said? And I'm paraphrasing him. He said, you know, you can't call yourself a Maverick when all you've been the last 8 years is a sidekick. Look, folks, got a simple message. If you give Barack Obama and me the honor of being your next president and vice president of the United States, here's what we're going to do. We're going to commit ourselves, literally, day and night, to 2 fundamental overriding goals. And they're straightforward and simple. The first is to restore the middle class in America. It's been beaten down. It's taken such a hit the last 8 years. And secondly, equally as important for my children and grandchildren, we're going to reclaim America's respect in the world. Folks, and the first step in reclaiming that leadership is to end this war in Iraq. We will end this war, and we will end it responsibly. And ladies and gentlemen, now even President Bush is getting behind Barack Obama's plan to set a timetable to withdraw American combat forces from Iraq. Bush is negotiating that now. Ladies and gentlemen, only John McCain and Sarah Palin are the only odd ones out now. Ladies and gentlemen, Barack Obama was right a year and a half ago. He was right 6 years ago. John McCain was wrong 6 years ago. He's wrong 18 months ago, and he's wrong now on Iraq. Look, you know, the case to rebuild the middle class is fairly straightforward. And here's how we're going to start it. Start cutting taxes for working people and small businesses instead of giving gigantic tax cuts to the very wealthy. An energy plan that frees us from the iron grip of the oligarchs of oil with a firm and long-term commitment to invest in alternative energy, wind, solar, biofuels. Invest in rebuilding America's infrastructure, roads, bridges, water systems, broadband and infrastructure for the future, creating right here in this state over the next 10 years 51,000 new jobs in rebuilding infrastructure. Affordable and available health care for every American. And a firm commitment to our young people. If you serve your country, not just in the military, as my son and many of your sons and daughters are doing, John McCain's and Sarah Palin's, but if you do more in addition to serve our country, if you're willing to serve underserved communities, hospitals, schools, we'll get you to college. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how you rebuild the middle class. You give them the tools, you give them the opportunities, you give them a fair tax structure. And ultimately, ladies and gentlemen, this is all about jobs. It's all about jobs. And in a sense, it's about even more than jobs. It's about dignity. It's about respect. And it's about what our fellow Americans are going through right now, maybe many of you in this town. You know, when you lose a job or your house is foreclosed on, it's not just an economic loss. It's emotionally devastating. It rips apart families. You know, it's about having to make maybe the longest walk in your life up a short flight of stairs to your daughter's bedroom or your son's bedroom, to have to look him in the eye and tell him, sorry, honey, I'm sorry. We're losing our house. I lost my job. I'm sorry, honey, you're not going to be able to stay in this school. We're not going to be able to live in this neighborhood. We're going to have to move. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what it's about. It's about people who need help. And that's why Barack Obama and I believe right now there should be a 3-month moratorium on all home foreclosures in America until people get a chance to renegotiate their way back in their home. But folks, at the end of the day, if we're going to rebuild the middle class, at the end of the day, if we're going to strengthen America's role in the world and regain our leadership position, we have to do one more very, very important thing. The thing that's been missing. We have to unite this country. I'm tired of being red and blue. We have purple hearts in this country. We're a purple nation. We are not red, we are not blue. Ladies and gentlemen, recently in North Carolina, Governor Palin said she was happy to be, and I quote, in a pro-American part of the country. And just the other day, one of John McCain's advisors called some parts of this state, quote, the real Virginia. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I was just in North Carolina. It is a deeply patriotic place. And here in Virginia, you know that your commitment to this country doesn't depend on what part of the state you live in. More than half the people of Virginia consider themselves part of a military family. 6,800 Virginians are currently serving in Iraq and Afghanistan. 136 of these fallen angels have given their life for their country. Ladies and gentlemen, we all love this country. We're all patriots. Ladies and gentlemen, that's why they should end these scurrilous phone calls, these attacks on Barack Obama's character and on his patriotism. They should end it. Look, these tactics they're using at the end of this campaign, they're an attempt to further divide this country. They're an attempt to distract you from the things that really matter in the lives of everyday Americans. Folks, I want to say it as plainly as I can. I've had enough. Our country has had enough of this brand of corrosive politics. It's got to stop. It's got to stop. Look, Barack and I got to know this guy. I know this guy well. Ladies and gentlemen, he's got a backbone like a ramrod. Barack Obama can take 11 more days of these personal attacks. But our country cannot take 4 more years of these painful economic initiatives. Folks, when this is over, and God willing if we win, you're going to have to join Barack and me in inviting all those who are on the opposite side, inviting all Americans, inviting our Republicans and independent friends to join us. We got to embrace one another, ladies and gentlemen. We cannot do this anymore. We cannot do this anymore. We're going to have to make bygones be bygones. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to remind all Republicans, all Democrats, all independents. It's time to remind our nation. We are one nation under God. We are indivisible. We all are Americans. We all love our country. Folks, what have great presidents always done? They've always turned dire circumstances into real opportunities. Every generation before us has done this. We have never have the American people let their country down. And by the way we're going to do it, by the way Barack leads, we have to, in fact, remind people what we've done in the past. And we have to appeal, as Barack will, to America's better angels. Ladies and gentlemen, that's why I believe Barack Obama will be a great president of the United States of America. I'm here today. I've had the great honor and fortune of being able to travel this campaign from the time it began with one of my family members all the time, and my number 2 brother, my brother Jimmy, is with me today. And Jimmy and I heard our dad say, I don't know, 1,000 times. I don't know how many times I heard him say it. Every time he got knocked down, whether it was on a football field, or where the girl turned you down for a date, or whether you got the C instead of the A you hoped, or you had some disappointment, and you're feeling sorry for yourself. My dad would walk into our rooms, and he'd look at me and say, Champ, when you get knocked down, get up. Just get up. Just get up. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have never seen a time when so many Americans have been knocked down and the government has done so little to give them a hand up. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to get up together, to bring the change we need to the country we all love. Ladies and gentlemen, America is ready. You are ready. I am ready. Barack Obama is ready. It's our time. It's America's time. So let's get up and take back this nation. May God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Get up. Get up.